It's the second half of the regular season as we return here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, but this time there are points on the line. We had our All-Star race break last week. There were no points on the line, just pride and purse, but now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty because this is now where drivers start to make either their quest towards the championship or try and get themselves in position to have a quest towards the championship. And we get things started here with race number 4 of the second season of the NNSCRA Last of Us Lite Series. 30 laps of racing here tonight under the lights at the D-shaped mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we now have 38 drivers that are currently in this season's field. Still 2 spots open in the sign-up, so if you haven't gotten yourself signed up for an NNSCRA ride yet, you can check down the description below. The sign-up video is there. 2 more rides available for anyone that wants to take part here in the Last of Us Lite series. But it's also interesting, too, because we had only 34 drivers at our last race. Now we've got 38 drivers in this race, so we've increased by 4 drivers. And who knows, 4 drivers, 4 points could be a very important 4 points when we get down to the latter portion of the season. Now, this is the one series in particular where it really matters of getting those points because there is no chase or playoff system for this series. It comes down to whoever has the most overall points at the end of the season. So definitely it comes down to wins. It comes down to consistent finishes as to who's going to win the championship in this series in particular. Josh Drake lines up on the pole position for this race. Drake comes into this race currently situated 19th in points, had a pretty dismal run at Pocono, and alongside of him is R Brommer in the 20. Brommer comes into this race 31st, so both those drivers struggling and looking to bounce back here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines!
Commands given. We're going to get the cars rolling off here, and as they do that, we're going to give you your top 10 the point standings coming into tonight's race, presented to you by Blame Shelley Insurance. Now, we've had 3 races, 3 different winners, all 3 of them in the top 10. R Spurlytube, a former winner this season, is the points leader, although his points lead got cut into a little bit last time out at Pocono. He now only holds 11 points in hand over Ben Crouch. Jonathan Wong currently sits 3rd in the points, 14 points out. Also 14 points out in 4th is Aiden Shepard, and Marty Johnson currently is 5th. He's 16 points out, so the points are really close actually right now, at least amongst the top 5. Then you've got Brendan Breeg. He's currently sitting in, Benjamin Breeg rather, sitting in 6th. 7th is Michael Whitman. Simon Bloomfield in 8th. Griffin Lynn currently 9th. And Alex Lozano completes the top 10. And we mentioned the 3 former winners of this season are in the top 10 in points. Spurlytube, the race. Spurlytube, the current points leader. Aiden Shepard, who won our last race out at Pocono. And Alex Lozano, who won at Daytona. I mentioned that there are 4 drivers making their first starts of this series in this field here tonight. They include the 02 of Sean Arndt, also the 27 of Zach Rogers, the 34 of Brandon Morris, and the 63 of Landon Lyons. So we'll see how they do here in tonight's race. 30 laps of racing here at Charlotte, and we're ready to go racing. It's the second half of the regular season, and the Last of Us Lite Series drivers are ready to get us green flag racing. Let's roll! Ahead of time, apologize for the low frame rates. They're going to happen here tonight because Charlotte always seems to have a problem with frames. I don't know why. Battle on for the lead, perhaps. Here comes J Hallec in the 8. He's going to try and take the top spot. Toyota Camry's on the bottom as R Brommer follows right behind him. And he will get the position as well. Michael Canto there in the 52 was looking like he was going to be one of the prime contenders to battle for the win last time out at Pocono. And he's now caught in that outside line, going to lose a spot there. Looks like that's to Jonathan Wong's 37, who's now the first car on that inside line. J Hallec for the moment, though, going to lead the way. They're 3 wide, further back here. Look at this. Josh Drake way up high. Ooh, I thought for a moment there that a car had blown up. We're looking at the 22 Phil Goldberg. Trouble in the back! Last week's winner, Aiden Shepard, gets spun up into the outside wall, and they're still wrecking. Marty Johnson just got jacked up. And the caution flag's going to wave, and they're going to wreck up here closer to the front of the field. R Brommer gets turned. Ooh, Canto, Goldberg making contact with each other there. Canto gets spun around. I think that was Josh Drake, the pole sitter, that was in that Three wide leaning on each other, so some other drivers now with some damage here under caution. Hallec going to be the race leader, though, with Jonathan Wong in second, and I believe Brommer crossed the line in third, but he's now got rear end damage. And then Colton Yohe and Philip Goldberg crossed the line in the top 5, but the 20 and the 22 both have damage, and Goldberg's coming to pit road. Colton Yohe might have also gotten a piece of that, because he's also coming to pit lane there in the 98. Car in pit road that looks like the 77 of T Fowlkes. That's Michael Whitman there coming into pit road as well, that white and blue machine, the number 32. Another car on pit road, that's Aiden Shepard, last time out's winner from Pocono, who came into this race 4th in the point standings. So he had a good run at the Tricky Triangle, but not so great a run here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And he is sitting on pit road, and that car might be done for the evening. T Fowlkes, I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I think he might have been the one that turned the Aiden Shepard machine. Looking at Nicholas Wade there, the 2 car. He's coming to pit road. A lot of damage. There's Marty Johnson, the 99. That Lozano? No, it's Patrick Smith, the 46. Zach Rogers in his debut. Not the run he was looking for. Ashland Boyd on pit road as well. There was another car that just retired out of the race. I couldn't tell who that was. And according to the scoring, that was the 23 of Clark McKee making his second start of the season. None of the leaders coming to pit road, so J Hallec is going to be the race leader probably when we go back green. Let's see what happened. This was out of turn number 4, and it started with last time out's winner, Aiden Shepard. 3 wide coming out of turn 4. Shepard in the middle. That's Tristan Fowlkes on the inside. Marty Johnson there up and into the wall. And it was actually Marty Johnson that hooked the 11 around. I knew it was a yellow car. I thought it was the 77, but it wasn't. It was actually the 99. Aiden Shepard gets turned the wrong direction, and then I think Marty Johnson tries to get to the inside of him, just drives down into oncoming traffic. He gets clobbered right there. That was Clark McKee in the 23. There's Nicholas Wade, nowhere to go. And then the track's just blocked up. There's no one for anywhere to go. Ashland Boyd there, and oh my goodness, Aiden Shepard hit the glitch. The 11 car hit the glitch. That's a famed area here on the second left-hand angle of the Dogleg front straightaway. Several drivers have hit it, and Aiden Shepard is going to join the long list of drivers that have hit it as he goes flying up over the catch fence. There's Patrick Smith in the 46. A lot of damage on his car. Boyd back there in the 18. The aforementioned 23 of Clark McKee. There's Zach Rogers. Didn't look like a whole lot of damage on him. Well, yeah, actually, he does have a lot of front-end damage on his machine, so a tough debut for him. There's Ben Crouch in the 78. He's slow, and that's second in the points. Let's see if he got any piece of this or not. Oh, yeah, I think he might have actually been run into the back of by Zach Rogers. That's Nicholas Wade right in front of them, and then Rogers. Yeah, Rogers just didn't slow down in time. He got into the back of Crouch. Look at Simon Bloomfield going through the grass there, and there goes the 11s shooting up into the air. Oh, and back there, boy, who's that the, oh, 23 just got into there. I think, I'm not 100% certain, but that looks like that could be, is that the 30, oh no, it's the 02, that is actually Sean Arndt. Another driver making his debut tonight. And also, I just noticed that Benjamin Breeg was back here. I don't know if the 5 got any of this. And the reason we're focusing on a couple of these drivers is because Crouch came into this race second in points. Johnson was 5th, and Breeg was 6th. And we also mentioned that Michael Whitman got a piece of the wreck. And he came into this race in the 7th position in points. Let's go back real quickly and see what happens in this stack up. Whoops, missed my thing. Alright, so I think it starts up here with the 20 of Ryan Brommer. Fast forward a little bit here. Yeah, they're 3 wide here under pacing. That's Colton Yohe down on the inside, the 98. Philip Goldberg in the middle in the 22. And I think those are the 2 that might start the contact right there. Yep. Colton Yohe kind of comes up the track. Gets hooked in the right rear by Goldberg. They go up into Ryan Brommer. And then there were 3 wide behind them. And there's more contact. Josh Drake and Michael Canto. The three of Tim Gary did a good job getting down low enough to not get involved. And I believe that's Michael Whitman right behind those guys. Now let's see if he gets any contact with someone here. Does he run maybe into the back of the 52 of Canto? Yeah, I think he did. Canto spinning right in front of other drivers. He's going to get a little hit right there from Chris Maley's 53. Alex Lozano got a little piece of this. There's where T Fowlkes is involved. And maybe some contact for D Farrell, but I'm not certain. Oh, and they're still stacking up there. 54 getting turned around of Jake Smith. Oh, and there's Whitman getting even more contact. I think Kenny Johnson might have also been involved. And oh, there was another car right there, and I couldn't tell who that was. Was that Peter Onjack, possibly? Who is that? I'm trying to see which driver that is. Oh, that's the 10 of Taylor Frey. So there were actually a number of drivers that got involved in that stack-up that we saw there. But some came to pit road and some did not. Let's go back now for the restart here tonight at Charlotte. Green flag set to come back out here as we've got a car a lap down there. T Fowlkes in the 77. 4 drivers out of the race after our first caution. They include the cars of Nicholas Wade as well as Clark McKee, Patrick Smith, and Aiden Shepard. So certainly not the way that Aiden Shepard, after getting his win at Pocono, wanted to follow up that victory. 1 lap down is the 77 of T Fowlkes. He'll start on the inside alongside the race leader, J Hallec. Jonathan Wong in second. Ryan Brommer there in third, still with that rear end damage. Now we saw him kind of slide up rear first into the outside wall under that wreck after they take a caution. We'll have to see if that affects him speed-wise or not. Pole sitter Josh Drake got some damage from that after caution incident as well. He lines up fourth. Same for Michael Canto, who will be restarting in fifth. Tim Gary is in sixth. Seventh is Paul Jackson. Eighth place is going to be D Farrell. Chris Maley in ninth. Completing your top 10 will be Shane Vincent. Green flag set to come back out here on lap 7 of 30, giving us 24 laps still to go here tonight at Charlotte. J Hallec very easily got around the slower lap machine of Fowlkes. Hallec comes into this race, currently situated 22nd in the point standings, and right now, coming into this race, was 46 points out of the top position. Up to this point, he's led the most laps tonight, and trying to look for what would be his first win of his NNSCRA career, of course, first of the season as well, as they're still having some trouble back there. Looks like that 20-car Brommer, that rear-end damage, is affecting him somewhat speed-wise as he's starting to get reeled in, and he's also kind of holding up fourth place on back. Tim Gary there trying to get by him in the 3. I think that was D Farrell also thinking about 3 wide as Jonathan Wong has thoughts for the lead. He's on the back bumper of the 8 car, and right behind them, you got the pole sitter Josh Drake. So apparently the contact he got being squeezed in a 3-wide situation that was very nearly a wreck with him in turn 1 after they took the caution has not affected him speed-wise. D Farrell has managed to move up to 4th. Here comes Chris Maley in 5th. And Shane Vincent in the 25 now. Looks like he's going to go for 6th. That would, actually no, that would be for 7th. As I believe he got around Ryan Brommer's slow number 20. Battle on back there now between Vincent and the 25 and the 28. Riley Spurlytube, the points leader coming into this race, and Spurlytube's going to clear for the spot. So right now, Riley Spurlytube, who had a bit of a struggle at Pocono, had his points lead cut into, trying to bounce back here. Spurlytube, who won the race at Chicagoland earlier on this season, the Wreckfest at Chicagoland, I should say. Right now, running very solidly in the top 10. The driver he has to worry about right now is that 37 up ahead of Jonathan Wong. Wong came into this race 3rd in the point standings, a total of 14 points back. So if Jonathan Wong can get up there past J Hallec, lead a lap, that's a bonus point he would have. And right now he is Right now, a total of 4 positions ahead of Riley Spurlytube, but Spurlytube is flying through the field. He just got around Chris Maley for the 6th position, and now hounding the back bumper of Tim Gary for a spot in the top 5 as Jonathan Wong now under fire. Dylan Farrell and Josh Drake in 3rd and 4th, trying to move to 2nd and 3rd. You know, it's also going to make this race very interesting. We had that caution. I don't know how much these drivers are going to be able to save fuel-wise here in this race. But the fuel window coming into this race is, wow! Dylan Farrell almost got turned off the nose of, I think that was Josh Drake. What a save, but goodness gracious. But going back to what I was saying, the fuel window coming into this race was somewhere around 25 to 28 laps. Griffin Lynn now 3 wide on the bottom there in the 41. This could be awfully scary through this corner. Ooh, Riley Spurlytube might have gotten the wall, same for Chris Maley. But if these drivers were able to save enough, they might be able to make it on fuel. If not, if there's no possible way they were able to save enough fuel, we could see this race go into green flag pit stop. Charlotte is one of those tracks, one of those mile-and-a-half tracks where fuel strategy comes into play. That could very well be the case for these drivers. We didn't really have fuel strategy race yet this season. Chicagoland, we mentioned, was a wreck fest. Pocono wasn't really a wreck fest, but there were enough cautions that we really just did not see fuel strategy come into play. So tonight might be one of the first times this season we will see fuel strategy be a factor. Colton Yohe just up ahead there in the 98, off the pace in the 33rd position. The leader's going to catch him very quickly. J Hallec, where's he going to go? Going to have to go by him on the inside here through the D-shaped front straightaway, but look at how quickly that brought 3rd place on back. Look at P Onjack there in the 7. What a run he got. He's up to 3rd. Right behind him, Griffin Lynn, and behind them you've got our Daytona winner, A Lozano, now completing the top 5 as they were almost 4 wide coming out of turn 2 there for a moment, and here comes P Onjack in that 7 car. He is flying. Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, your top 5 at the moment. And Ryan Brommer, damage and all, he's now up in the 6th spot, so that car apparently is not off the pace as long as he's able to stay in a draft. Mentioned Benjamin Breeg might have gotten a piece of that wreck that we had, our first caution. Well, he's apparently up to speed and running very solidly in the 9th position, so a good run for the guy who came into this race 6th in the points. Right now passing the 34. Great debut here tonight, at least so far, for Brandon Morris. It's actually one of 4 drivers making their first start here tonight. Zach Rogers damaged off the pace. Sean Art got a piece of the wreck. So he's not running as well as he could. And also, we haven't really seen anything of Landon Lyons 63 either. Looking at the 57 of A Lagasee, who made his debut last week, or last time out, I should say, at Pocono. Right now, he's in the top 10. Let's move back up to the front, though, as it's still J Hallec out in front. So even after having to deal with the slower machine of Colton Yohe, he still was able to hold the top position. P Onjack has now slotted into 2nd with Griffin Lynn in 3rd. As the car that's starting to fade a bit is Jonathan Wong. He just lost 4th place to A Lozano, and now Dylan Farrell going to go for the last spot in the top 5. Griffin Lynn had that great run back at Chicagoland, but didn't manage to finish with the victory. Comes into this race 9th in the points. P Onjack just ahead of him coming into this race, currently situated 21st in points, so certainly could use a good run. As I'm hearing an idling engine up ahead. That's actually a few idling engines, actually. Sean Art, the 02. We're looking at Ashlyn Boyd in the 18 and Marty Johnson in the 99. All just ahead of the race leaders, and they're all close to each other, too, so that's going to be quite a task for J Hallec and company to try and pass these machines all consecutively, one after the other, as we are now within 10 laps to go. Ooh! Hallec trying to get to the inside of Ashlyn Boyd. Boyd didn't really give him much room, and I think he may have actually forced his way to the inside of the 18. Now going to try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone as he'll try and get by both Sean Art and Marty Johnson. And he succeeds in doing so, and he's going to bring that whole inside line with the lead lap cars with him. Battle now brews for second. Griffin Lynn to the inside of P Onjack. As J Hallec doing a good job cutting his way through the slower traffic. Name that was up here just moments ago that has kind of faded back is the points leader Riley Spurlytube. Remember, he's trying to keep some close distance between himself and Jonathan Wong. Where did he go? Wow, he faded way back. Holy cow, where is the 28? Did I go through the field and miss him? There he is. Last time by, crossed the line in the 19th position. That's where he still sits, as he's now trying to go by Shane Vincent for a spot. Boy, he really faded back. Meanwhile, up front, Jonathan Wong realizing the situation. He's going to move to second place, 3 wide for third. Onjack, Lozano, and Farrell off of turn 4. Ooh, Farrell may have gotten the wall, and that was right in front of Griffin Lynn. That's going to lose both those drivers some momentum. As now Wong back in second, going to try again like what he did at the beginning of this race, trying to run down the 8 of J Hallec. Onjack's had a fast car there in third, and don't count out that 57. 57 of Al Lagasee looking really strong here tonight in only his second start. Trying to remember where he finished in his debut last week at Pocono. Lagasee was 30th out of 34 drivers, so not the start to his year that he wanted, but running well right now. Another car up ahead. I think that's Colton Yohe for a second time. They're side by side for second between Onjack and Wong. Lagasee waiting to see which line opens up, and oh my goodness, Hallec had trouble that time. Look at Wong trying to go around the outside. Now Halleck's going to move to the inside of Colton Yohe, and that he might have actually just played the 37. Forced him up there to try and make a move on the high side, and that killed Jonathan Wong's momentum, and he's fading back really quickly. But here comes P Onjack for the lead. Onjack, the door was left open. He stuck his foot in it. And here comes the 7 trying to become what would only be the second race lead change of the evening. And he's going to clear him. P Onjack, the new race leader. And now the battle for second between Hallec on the outside, and inside is Al Lagasee. Lagasee gets a little loose there at the end of the corner. Not going to be able to get the spot. Now J Hallec back to the inside. Going to look to get the race lead back from P Onjack. He's led most of the laps here tonight. Spent most of the time out in clean air. He wants to finish out in front, and he's going to very easily take the race lead back out of turn number 4. So even if they can get to him and pass him, J Hallec says, I can pass you right back. He's got a strong Toyota Camry. He's also only got 3 more circuits around this track before he can maybe get his first win of his career. More cars to deal with up ahead. That's Tristan Fowlkes, Zach Rogers, Michael Whitman, and Philip Goldberg. They're heading through turn 3. Leader hits turn 3 now. Those cars could very well be a factor in the outcome of this race. They've just got to get to the white flag. It's 2 laps to go this time by. Hallec, Onjack, Griffin Lynn, Benjamin Breeg, then Dylan Farrell, Alex Lozano, Jonathan Wong, Al Lagasee, and Ryan Brommer. They're all up in this lead pack, 1st through 9th. Then you've got Chris Maley back there solid in 10th, but he's quite a ways back behind this lead group. J Hallec's been good with slower traffic here tonight. Can he be here on the final lap? Because he's going to have to deal with them in the closing stages. Ashland Boyd in the 18 was on pit road, couldn't make it on fuel. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go for J Hallec. He's going to catch Zach Rogers and Tristan Fowlkes probably down here into turn 3. Will they be a factor in the outcome of this race? Hallec to the inside of the 27. 27 blocks him as he tries to make a move on Tristan Fowlkes. Here comes Griffin Lynn in the 41 with a big run out of turn 4. Can J Hallec hold him off? Yes, he can. He'll still pick up the victory here tonight at Charlotte, but man, that was close. If Griffin Lynn had jumped to the outside out of turn 4, he might have been able to make it a photo finish with J Hallec, but he decided instead to stay on the bottom. That might have cost him. He got boxed in at the same point that Hallec did, and J Hallec, strongest car of the evening, no doubt about it, leads the most laps and leads the most important final lap of this race to take his first checkered flag of his NNSCRA career here at Charlotte in the Last of Us Lite series. And slow traffic nearly played a huge factor into the outcome of tonight's race. Fourth race, fourth different race winner, and I do believe that is the third win of 4 races for Toyota. Aiden Shepard's win was a Toyota win at Pocono, and Riley Spurlytube's win at Daytona was a Toyota win as well. So far, only one Chevrolet's gone to victory lane. I'm sorry, Riley Spurlytube's win at Chicagoland. Only one Chevrolet win this season, and that was Lozano at Daytona. And Ford is yet to break into winner's circle yet this season. We'll have to see where this puts J Hallec too in the point standings, because he was 22nd in points coming into this race, 46 points out. How close to maybe battling for the points lead could he be now after this victory? Griffin Lynn, this will certainly put him back in the point situation, you would think. He was 25 points out, 9th in points, gets a runner-up finish here tonight. Great run for P Onjack there in 3rd, Dylan Farrell in 4th, and Jonathan Wong, I don't know where the official finishing result for Riley Spurlytube was. It was 11th, so I think Spurlytube may still hang on to the points lead, but his points lead is going to be really cut into by Jonathan Wong. I think he'll have only maybe 6 points between himself and Wong heading into next week. No, I'm sorry, not 6. 9 points between himself and Jonathan Wong heading into our next race. Then it was Benjamin Breeg, another driver, top 10 in points with a great run in 6th, so he'll stay in the conversation. L Lagasee will finish in 7th. A Lozano, 10th in the points, will finish in 8th, our Daytona winner, so he's still in the conversation. R Brommer, despite that damage, gets 9th, and C Maley completes the top 10. He was just outside the top 10 in points coming into this race in 12th, so maybe he'll be back in the points conversation as well. We mentioned Spurlytube, the points leader, probably going to keep the points lead with an 11th place run tonight. Tim Gary in 12th, Shane Vincent 13th, Logan Cloud there in 14th. We didn't talk about the 48 hardly at all tonight, and Ben Crouch, who was 2nd in the points coming into this race, going to lose a couple of points to Riley Spurlytube as he finishes in 15th. The highest finishing debut driver tonight was Brandon Morris, finishing in the 16th position. Josh Drake, pole sitter, in 17th. Landon Lyons in his debut, 18th. And then it was Paul Jackson and Kenny Johnson completing your top 20. Look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, and a couple of the notables that came into this race running really well in the point standings. You look at Marty Johnson. He was 5th in points coming into this race, finishing off the lead lap in 30th after getting involved in a wreck. And also you got Ashlyn Boyd, 11th in the points, finishing in the 34th position. Aiden Shepard, after his win at Pocono, up to 4th in the standings. DNF's here tonight in 35th place. So those drivers going to take quite a hit, I think, in the point standings here this evening. But that's going to do it here tonight from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. J Hallec takes the checkered flag. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a video, like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have shown your full finishing results. These are your overall point standings heading into our next race for these drivers. You won't see these drivers for another 3 weeks when they're going to go short track racing at Salem Raceway. We're finishing out our Charlotte race weekend here, though. Trucks are off, but the Pizza Deck Series and Hershey's Cup Series will finish out this week, with the Hershey's Cup Series running their longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys at Salem in 3 weeks as the Last of Us Lite series rolls on here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Offline racing at its best.